You stole the money, didn't you? I didn't. Then why did she find it in your drawer? That was all it took. One sentence from my sister, one bag of cash, one lie, and suddenly, I was a thief in my own family. I'm Anna, 32, the quiet one, at least, that's what they always said. The quiet one, as if being calm meant I didn't feel things as deeply. I work in graphic design. Freelance. Not glamorous, not flashy, not something that got the family bragging at parties. But it paid the bills, gave me peace. Or, it used to. My younger sister? Maya. 28. Brilliant, loud, magnetic. She could walk into any room and everyone would instantly orbit around her like she was the sun. And honestly, she deserved it. She worked hard, studied hard, and she was about to land a job with Oriel and Finch, one of the top consulting firms in New York. It was her dream job. And our parents? They were obsessed with her. She's going to make it big, Mom would whisper with that gleam in her eye. Finally, someone in the family we can be proud of, Dad added once, loud enough for me to hear. He said he was joking. I wasn't laughing. Still, I never resented her. At least, not before that day. It started small. Mom's bracelet went missing. Nothing expensive, just sentimental. A week later, it magically reappeared under my old hoodie in the laundry basket. Maya had raised her eyebrows. Weird, right? Dad didn't say anything. But the next day, he double-locked the liquor cabinet. Then came the missing $40 from Mom's wallet. Then my aunt's earrings. Each time, the fingers started pointing my way. Not obviously, just suggestively. Whispers. Tension. That look people give you when they think you're lying, but they don't want to say it. I confronted Maya once. You think this is funny? She blinked, all wide-eyed innocence. What are you talking about? But her smile? It didn't reach her eyes. I started feeling paranoid in my own home. Dad began locking the door to his office. Mom kept her purse on her lap during dinners. Even my cousin Sarah, who used to joke around with me, got awkward when I tried to borrow her charger. No one said it aloud, but I could feel it. They thought I was stealing. Then it happened. One Sunday afternoon, while we were cleaning up after a family brunch, Mom screamed. She'd found a sealed envelope with $500 cash stuffed inside my drawer. My drawer. In the cabinet I never touched. Maya was the first one to speak. Oh my God, Anna. Why would you? Tears welled up in her eyes like clockwork. I didn't even defend myself. I just stood there, numb, staring at the envelope like it was a live grenade. They didn't ask. They assumed. I was stealing. From family. That night, no one talked to me. No one looked me in the eye. And the next morning, I found my things packed into 2 boxes by the stairs. We think it's best if you stay somewhere else for a while, Dad had said. Calm, cold. I moved into a friend's guest room. Felt like being disowned without the legal paperwork. The worst part wasn't losing their trust. It was realizing they never gave it to me in the first place. 2 weeks passed. Maya's big interview day came. She wore her sharp blue blazer and had her little I Got This playlist on repeat. She smiled at me as if nothing had happened. Wish me luck, she chirped. And that was the moment something in me cracked. She ruined me. And now she was waltzing into her dream job like none of it mattered. I didn't say a word, but I knew. That job was her entire identity, so I started watching, learning, waiting. And I promise you, by the time I was done, Maya would wish she had never framed me. I didn't even cry the night that they made me leave. Maybe I was too shocked. Maybe the betrayal hadn't fully set in. But 2 nights later, in my friend Rachel's tiny guest room, surrounded by boxes that smelled like my old bedroom, I broke. It started with a single tear. Then it poured out like a dam had cracked wide open. I sat on the floor, clutching a worn-out hoodie, the one I used to wear during family movie nights. We used to sit together, Mom, Dad, Maya and me, eating popcorn like we were normal. Now they looked at me like I was a stain on the furniture. I texted Mom once, just one line. I didn't do it. She never replied. I even saw the read notification. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. That hurt more than I expected. Not because I needed them to believe me, but because a part of me had always hoped, deep down, that if I ever truly needed them, they'd show up. They didn't. Maya, meanwhile, was thriving, posting motivational selfies with captions like, "Grind never stops," and "Interview prep mode." Boss babe. Her life was unfolding perfectly, and mine was rotting in silence. Rachel tried to cheer me up. "You could report her," she said once, fuming. What she did, it's actual character defamation. But what would I say? Hey, my sister framed me for stealing $500 and everyone believed her. They'd just think I was being bitter. And worse, what if no one believed me again? No, I wasn't going to beg. Days passed. I tried to work, but I couldn't focus. Clients were waiting on logo revisions. I ignored them. Emails piled up. I let them. Then, one night, I overheard Rachel on the phone with her mom. She said, "Anna's staying here for a bit. Her family kind of kicked her out." Kind of? No. They did kick me out. No questions, no defense, no trial. That moment hit me like a cold slap. They'd tossed me aside like I was nothing. Not worth a conversation. Not even a doubt. All it took was one carefully placed lie from Maya, and they crumbled on me like I was never part of them. It wasn't just sadness anymore. It was shame. Burning, sickening shame. I stopped looking at myself in the mirror. Stopped brushing my hair some mornings. Ate cereal from a mug and left the milk out overnight. I didn't recognize who I was becoming. Not because they broke me, but because I had let them decide my worth. Then the final straw. Mom posted a picture, the family, my family, at a dinner celebrating Maya's amazing interview. Dad wore his best blazer. Mom had her pearls on. Even Grandma was there, her hand on Maya's shoulder, like she was the chosen one. The caption read, "Proud of our girl, big things ahead." And I wasn't even mentioned. Not a tag, not a chair at the table, not a whisper of absence. That was the moment. The moment something inside me snapped. Not from anger, not from revenge, from clarity. They erased me. So I would erase the version of me that begged to be kept. I stood up, tied my hair back, deleted Maya from every social platform, cleared my inbox, replied to every client. Then I opened a new Google Doc. The title? She framed me, but this isn't about her anymore. I started writing a plan, not to destroy her, but to build me. Because if the world was going to label me a thief, a liar, an embarrassment, then fine, let them. But they were about to learn that the quiet one remembers everything. The first thing I did was fix my posture. It sounds small, stupid even, but when your spine's been curled under shame for weeks, straightening your back feels like a protest. I stood taller that morning, tied my hair into a clean ponytail, put on the only decent blazer I owned, and walked to the local coffee shop with my laptop like I belonged in the world again. Because I did, even if no one else believed that yet. I started small: emails, invoices, client follow-ups, deadlines I'd abandoned. I picked them up like shattered glass and started piecing everything together. One by one, clients returned. They said they missed my clean aesthetic and reliable delivery. That made me smile. For the first time in weeks, it wasn't fake. Then I did something even bolder. I applied for a short-term contract job at a boutique design firm uptown. I didn't think I'd get it, but I did. 3 weeks in, I was offered a permanent position. Health benefits, real paychecks. A boss who looked me in the eye and said, "We're lucky to have you." I wasn't just surviving, I was rebuilding. And through it all, I stayed silent. No messages to Maya, no comments on family posts, no attempts to set the record straight. Because I realized something. When you spend your energy trying to make people believe you, you give them power. But when you stop needing them to, you take it back. Then, something unexpected happened. About 2 months into my new job, I got an email. It was from Oriel and Finch. The subject line, Reference Confirmation, Maya Carter. My heart stopped. Apparently, she'd listed me as a professional character reference. Me, the person she framed. The sister she pushed into the cold. The irony nearly knocked me over. I closed the email, let it sit in my inbox for a full day. Then I read it again, and I realized this wasn't just irony, this was leverage. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I researched, dug deep. Maya's dream job was in their strategic image division. Her entire role would hinge on integrity, trust, collaboration. I also found a Reddit thread where people shared anonymous workplace horror stories. Turns out, Oriel and Finch paid close attention to reputation. They were all about internal values. Their hiring manager followed the thread. So I waited until Maya posted a pic in their lobby with the caption, "Almost there." Smiley face, blazer, confidence like nothing could touch her. That same night, I replied to the hiring email. Very polite, very calm. While Maya is certainly bright and driven, I'd prefer not to be used as a reference due to a recent personal conflict that included some concerning behavior around trust and honesty. I hope you understand. No accusations, no name-calling, just enough weight to plant a seed of doubt. 2 days later, Maya posted another photo. This one was different. No caption, just her, sitting on a bench outside the building, blazer wrinkled, eyes red. That post got deleted after an hour. I didn't say a word, but inside, I wasn't celebrating. Not exactly. It wasn't revenge. It was balance. A week passed, then 2. Maya stopped posting. Then one night, Rachel knocked on my door. Your sister's at the cafe, alone, crying. I almost didn't go, almost. But I did. I stood across the street and watched her through the glass. Bent over her coffee, wiping her eyes with the sleeve of the same blazer she once wore like armor. She didn't see me, and that was the moment I realized she had finally felt it, what it was like to be doubted, dismissed, alone. But me? I was done crying. I had a steady income, a life of my own, a reputation I had rebuilt without needing their permission. And for the first time, I felt whole. 3 months after Maya's interview collapsed, I got a text. Family dinner, Sunday, 6 p.m., you're expected. No please, no apology, just, you're expected. From Mom's number. Part of me wanted to ignore it. Part of me wanted to show up with a lawyer and a PowerPoint presentation titled Why I Owe You Nothing. But the part of me that had already won, the quiet, stable, clear-headed part, knew better. So I said yes. And I went. They chose a fancy restaurant downtown. Table for 6, Dad at the head, Mom next to him, Grandma, Uncle Paul, Maya, and then me, seated directly across from her. She didn't meet my eyes, didn't say hello. She looked different, smaller. Like the spotlight she used to bathe in had burned out. Her voice was quieter, too. When she asked the waiter for a water, she tripped over her own words. And for once, Mom didn't rush in to help. Dinner was strained. No one talked about the elephant in the room. They just danced around it with polite chatter and forced laughter. The same way families do when they pretend everything's fine, but can't stop looking at the crack in the ceiling. Then Uncle Paul, God bless him, asked what Maya had been up to. And she froze, fork midair, eyes flicking up to mine for the first time in months. That's when I leaned back in my chair, looked her dead in the eye, and said, She's been trying to recover from a reputation hit. Something about a reference who refused to vouch for her. I heard it ruined her shot at Oriel and Finch. The entire table went still. Forks paused mid-bite. Mom's jaw clenched. Dad narrowed his eyes. Even the waiter, poor kid, just stood there holding the check like it was radioactive. Maya stared at me, mouth open, but no words came out. I didn't smile, didn't gloat, just folded my napkin. Let the silence do the work. Grandma was the first to speak. What's she talking about, Maya? Her voice wasn't accusing, just disappointed. And that was somehow worse. Maya looked around like she wanted someone to step in, save her, but no one did. Even Mom stayed quiet. That was when Maya's eyes welled up. And for a split second, I almost felt bad. Almost. But then I remembered how she looked the day they found the envelope. How she gasped, clutched her chest like I'd stabbed her. So I said one more thing. She used me to get ahead, and when she couldn't, she tried to get rid of the competition. No yelling, no drama, just the truth. And this time, no one rushed to defend her. She stood up suddenly, chair screeching, excused herself, and walked toward the bathroom. Nobody followed. I sat back and sipped my water. No one made eye contact, but I could feel it. The shift. The weight that had sat on me for months, it was gone. Now it was hers. After dinner, as we were leaving, Mom stopped me. Her voice was soft, broken almost. "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" I looked her in the eyes, calm, level. "Because you wouldn't have believed me. You never did." She didn't argue, didn't deny it. She just nodded. The kind of nod that says, "You're right, and I hate that you are." I walked to the curb. Cool night breeze brushing past. Behind me, I heard Maya step out. She didn't call after me, didn't try to explain. She just stood there, alone. Like I had been, months ago. I stood tall. She couldn't. My apartment is small. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. The plants by the windowsill? I grew them. The throw blanket on the couch? I picked it out last fall at a street market. The coffee mug I sip from each morning? It's chipped, but perfect. Because no one else touched these things. No one else made decisions for me. I used to think home was a person, or a family, or a place where you were expected to belong. But now I know. Home is where no one makes you feel like you're a guest in your own skin. Work is steady. I have regular clients. I even picked up a side project teaching design workshops on weekends. The best part? My name, just my name, sits at the bottom of every contract. Not Maya's, not my dad's, not some family favor that could be yanked away. Mine. And them? They haven't changed much. Dad still posts passive-aggressive motivational quotes. Mom still brags about Maya's past honors like they're current. And Maya? She's quiet now. Not out of shame, but out of something more unfamiliar to her. Consequence. She tried applying to a smaller firm. I heard they turned her down. Apparently, someone on the hiring team used to work at Oriel and Finch. Reputations travel. We don't talk. Occasionally, she likes my posts. Once, she sent a message. "Hope you're well." I didn't reply, because I am well, and I don't need her permission to stay that way. The truth is, I didn't ruin her life. I just stopped protecting the version of her that ruined mine. A friend once asked me, "Would you ever forgive her?" And I said, "Forgiveness isn't something you give someone because they ask. It's something you give yourself when you're done bleeding." And I'm done. Some nights, I think about the girl I used to be. The one who stayed quiet to keep the peace. The one who packed her bags while everyone else looked away. And I whisper something to her. "You didn't deserve that, but look at you now." I don't need an apology anymore. I don't need the truth to be broadcast. I don't need them to admit they were wrong. Because I know they were. And more importantly, so do they. So here's my message. In case someone else out there needs to hear it. You're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're not weak because you feel everything so deeply. You're just waiting for the right moment to stop surviving. And start building. And when you do, don't look back. She framed me to protect her future. I walked away to protect my peace. And in the end, I got something she never will. Freedom.